Hello, are we recording? Yeah, I think we are. Um, you want to look at literature review, like I said, and how we do it, how we reference the literature. The literature simply is book. We talk about literature. It stands for books, journals, articles, web pages, online materials. Even radio is material that we can make reference to. Someone says something on radio. Um, so like that's what the literature stands for. We need to understand that. As we are reviewing the literature, we are looking at so many materials, and we need to find a key that make reference to the material. So that is what literature review is all about. So if I make a statement in this particular document, as you can see, I'm just scrolling down. If I make a reference to something, or if I make a statement, like for example, in different parts of the world, a marketplace may be described as a souk from Arabic bazaar, a face mercado, or blah blah blah, or palenque, Philippines, whatever. If I make this statement, who is saying that? We don't have an idea who is saying it. How do we even believe it that okay, it's true? But anyway, there's no serious statements. There are serious statements that can be made, and we need to find a way to justify those statements. All right. So let's keep going. This is work by one of my students, so I can carry on, reviewing it. So here is an example of a reference. Calon, 1998. He made a statement. Some markets operate daily and are said to be permanent markets. Okay, blah blah blah, and so on. So all that was said by Calon is in a certain material that we are not sure about. Okay, so now we are going to learn how you make this reference and actually make what we call a reference list. So if you go down at the bottom of every paper or document that you can trust, it's a list of authors and materials, okay, all listed at the end of it, called the references. So we're going to learn how to generate these references. So let's broaden it a bit, and then we're going to just put just one list over here. So let's assume that we actually decided to make a reference to material that is kind of part of this whole literature review. We are making an assumption because we are learning. So let's go to the material that we want to use. It's a thesis. Excuse me. It's a master thesis in geoinformatics, and the title is Ambulance Management System Using GIS by Imtiaz and Pasha. Okay, so now Imtiaz and Pasha did this work in the Computer and Information Science Department in Linköping University in Sweden. So all that information needs to be grouped together in our reference list. You should find that here, right down here, whilst we actually make the in-text reference, like the one I just showed you above, in the body of the text, or in that particular whichever part of the document you make the reference to. We need to have that as the in-text reference. So something like this, colon 1990, as we said, 1998, should now have the full description of who colon is down here somewhere. So we need to create this reference. So that's what we are going to learn how to do, and we're going to make use of the references menu. But first, let's try and understand what the different reference systems are. As I said, we can have the APA, we can have Chicago. Even we have different editions of the same, referencing style or referencing system. I call it referencing system. Now the Harvard referencing style. You have different MLA, and all sorts depending on where you are. So if you are in China, they probably will be using a different system that I'm not sure what it is, but for now, we want to stick with the AP referencing system. Okay, so now let me look at how we will go about referencing the thesis using the AP. So I went to this web page, and then the format is right here. If you look at it over here, there you go. So we have a style. If you look closely, you see that we have the author and then his initials. So that will be the surname of the author, the year that the material was published, whether unpublished or published, there should be a year associated with it. The title of the dissertation or the thesis, which we've just found to be ambulance management system. Unpublished because it's still in the format of the university. And if it were, of course, it can be published in a journal. Then the academic institution is Linköping University, and then the city is Linköping, and the country is Sweden. So we just do our best to arrange things this way. And then there's an indentation here, so you can see that author starts from this point, whilst dissertation and the next line offsets from the author. So we should take note of that and then make sure we have that. So I'm going to show you how we do this in Word. This is good for my students. Pay attention, and then you'll be able to do this effortlessly, and together with the Google Scholar tutorial that I will give you separately in another video. Okay, so pay attention, and then let's go back to Microsoft Word. So let's have the references menu ready. Then let's have our material ready. So there's a statement in this document that we want to make a reference to. Alright, so let's go for it. So let's assume we have this statement from this material, ambulance management system using GIS, a thesis work by Imtiaz and Pasha. Okay, so we assume that Imtiaz is the first name and Pasha is second name. Alright, but obviously people write their names first name first. Alright, all things being equal. So in there's a statement: the integration of GIS, GPS, and GSM technologies are applied, blah 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 blah, on digital map. Okay, so we just want to say that we didn't make this statement. We can edit it a little bit, but it's not our own statement. We want to acknowledge the author, whoever said it. We want to acknowledge it, that this is a fact that has been published out there. Someone said it. Okay, so how do we do that? We need to go to references and then study a few things. Here are our sources. The sources are the very reference list. The things that make up the list are the sources. So the complete description of the material is the source. The style, you can see here, the bibliography is the list. So which means that there's a way of generating the list, reference list, and we use this pull down menu to do that. There are different ways that we can do it. You can do works cited, references, bibliography. They are all just different ways of pasting it. Then we have insert citations. So under citations and bibliography, in the references menu, we can create a new source. Okay, so I've already done this, but I think I can remove it and then do it all over again. So let's go to manage sources and simply look for Imtiaz and Pasha and delete it. So these are references I've already created. So the one that we are gonna refer to will be, or the one that we are going to create is now gonna have to be here. So let's go back to manage resource and see whether we still have it there, because it still shows up here. We want to delete it and close it. Hopefully it should get off out. Exactly, so now it's gone. So we can now insert a new one. Okay, now a thesis, we need to now choose a type source. When you come to create source, A citation is also like a reference, a source reference, literature. These are words that we have to get used to as we do academic referencing. So, is it a book? Is a thesis a book? It's kind of a book, but we can just explore and find out whether we should make you consider as a book. Let's go now. A journal. It's not a journal. If it's published in a journal, we can use that format, but we don't see thesis in here. We can make use of a patent, interviews and all that. We have all those options here. We have art, website. So depending on the one you choose, there are these pieces of data that are required to build a full reference. But do not be scared about it. Just go ahead and then look at the one that best fits the kind of material that you are trying to bring in. So let's look at book. An author, a title, a year, a publisher. So we have city, publisher. So where would we fit university? Because in our format, we need to be able to put the academic institution and all that at the end of the, because depending on the material we pick, it will arrange it automatically. Word will arrange it automatically. So let's try journal. The journal name, title. I think I'll go for a report. You see. Okay, let's try reports, and then as we go, we'll just find out if it's gonna work for us. So let's try and put in the name, the author person, and the name from the material is Imtiaz Pasha. We copy it and then we paste it in here. That's the last name, that's the first name. We are just assuming. Okay, so last and first name, no middle name. We add it, and then we say okay, and then it's kind of generated a certain format. Split it out with some comments and then some semicolons. The title of the material is Ambulance Management System using GIS. We paste it in here. The year should be in here too. Nobody just writes a thesis without telling us which year he did it. How would we know? The publisher, I think here we can just manipulate between publisher and city and then generate something close to this one, because we don't have thesis in the list of source type. So now let's go for the university, the name of the university, which is here academic institution. We combine that with the city, the country, and the city. So let's put that here. So back here again, Sweden. So name of academic institution, city and country. Okay, we are putting all that together. Academic institution, city and country. I think we have all that here. The publisher, that could have been academic, but even with this, we stand a chance of generating something. But whether it's okay or not, that will be the question. But is there something we left out? We have everything. Title of the thesis is in. We have into bracket unpublished, say thesis, master's thesis. So I think we go for unpublished master's thesis and stick it somewhere in the box. So this is unpublished master's thesis. That's supposed to go against the title. So let's go and stick it against the title instead of this one. So title into bracket, and it's not really formatted in. That one seems to be italicized, okay, but this one isn't. Okay, so from the example we can see that this one is italicized. Okay, so we're getting ourselves in trouble here, but let's see how this will look like. And I'm thinking that if we actually put this one here, then hopefully no, but it won't get attached to it like that. So I think here we have to just customize it. This is not a master's theme, so we have to find a better a better option than going for a report in replacement of thesis. But let's just say okay and see what we have. As you can see, now we have partial 2006 to be the in-test reference, and then the full test reference we can generate it by just going to bibliography and saying that. So now we have this arrangement: Linköping University, Linköping, Sweden. So things are looking okay. You only have to come here and then undo the italic form, okay, of the test. So now we have this format looking just like what we have here. If you look at it carefully, they kind of look alike. And if I copy this one and I stick it here, you all can see that it's lacking the indentation. So I can just, so if you want to create this indentation, just copy format and just click here. Hopefully, yeah, it's looking just like that. It's a slight differences in font color, but in terms of format, it's looking just like that. So we've created a thesis reference in our bibliography, in our reference lists, and we have the in-test reference without really cracking our brain where this comma is supposed to be. So that can be laborious, where you have to figure out where the period sign is and all that. This is a quick way to quickly put together a reference list. So I've just done one in about how many minutes? I don't know. This is because I'm teaching, but I could have done it in 5 minutes or 2 minutes or something, depending on how fast the copying and pasting goes. All right. So I hope you enjoy this video. I want you to click and subscribe to my channel, because I'm going to follow up with how to do the referencing using Google Scholar. It's a quicker way of picking up references without really going through what we just did. It's very quick and fast, but you can look at my video if you want to understand how that one works. So thank you very much for looking at it. Leave comments for me and I will actually respond to them. Bye bye.